Good evening, good evening. Let me welcome everyone to the draft for the fourth edition of the Chief Secretary BAGO T10 Blast. It's good to see all you guys here representing different franchises. I hope at the end of the day that you will be able to get the players that you want to help to make your guys' team successful. Before we go further, don't want to impose religion on anyone. So I would just ask that we observe a minute's silence. One for Arthur, and two, you could just reflect in your own way as we just take a moment's silence, please. All right, thank you. So as we get ready to start the draft of players for the 2024 Chief Secretary BAGO T10 Blast, let me take the opportunity to say thanks to the Chief Secretary for continuously blessing us with his good office to keep this tournament under his wings. It's another opportunity that the Tobago Cricket Association would be giving the Tobago players and players in Trinidad and Tobago on the whole the opportunity to showcase their talent, to be seen all around the world. I hope that you guys will take it with both hands and let everyone see the best that Tobago have to offer. Today the draft should be very simple. We have 4 Tobago players being retained from each franchise. We have all franchises being able to sole select one St. Vincent player. We would then draft for 4 Trinidad players. And we also have an additional youth incentive this year where each franchise is it is mandatory that each franchise select 2 under 19 players. So that would make up the quorum of the players that you guys would go forward in the 2024 season. With that being said, the chief should be on his way. So we would leave that part for the later end of the proceedings. So I think once all is set, we could go straight into the draft of players. We already started late. So let me hand you over to Marcus, who would conduct the draft. Marcus.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, sorry, good evening, good evening. Why so serious? Why so serious? Because everybody smiling. Everybody smiling, why so serious? I'm very happy. I was hoping the cameraman could have panned on all, but you see how serious you guys are. But yeah, let me see, thanks to the president there for the opening remarks. And yeah, I think we get straight into the business of drafting players. The president would have outlined how are we going to do the draft, or how we are going to do the draft this evening. All right, I know the franchises initially would have retained 4 players from the 2023 season. All right, and just before we get into the draft, I want to indicate to the viewing public, and of course, let me say good evening to all those online. And thank you so much for being here with us. And we hope that you're going to be with us throughout the season. The season, of course, will start on the 1st of June and end on the 8th of June. We're going to have 2 venues available this year in Roxborough and the Mariah Recreation Ground. And of course, that is us actually spreading our wings. And we're going to put out more information on dates for those venues. Right, so just giving you guys the retained players. They have retained Keyshawn Dillon, Shaquille Duncan, Shaquille Johnson, and Joshua James. The Buku Reef Divers retained Jaron Alfred, Dejon Charles, Jaden Kent, and Akko George. The Rainforest Rangers retained Nathan Stewart, Ansel Ned, Josh Telemark, and Kevin Samuel. And the Islanders, the Little Tobago Islanders, they have retained Joshua York, Orlando James, Leon Lezama, and Xavier Reed. So the teams or the franchises were allowed to retain 4 players. And they are now going to draft 5 Tobago players, inclusive of 2 youth players. For those who would have already drafted a youth player or 2 players, you don't have to draft a youth player anymore in this draft. Once you have drafted a youth player or retained a youth player. If you haven't done so, you have to pick 2 youth players this year. The youth players would have been identified. The youth players would have been identified by the Tobago Cricket Association, that being on a 19, on a 17, on a 15, on a 13, right up on a 15. Once you guys have determined who you would have actually, or for those who have retained, I'm seeing for the, let's say for the Booker Reef Divers, Jaden Kent, that's 1. For the Rainforest Rangers, Josh Telemark. And for the Little Tobago Islanders, Orlando James and Xavier Reed. So they have retained already their 2 youth players. So the Rainforest Rangers, they have to select 1 more. Fort King George Gunners 2, and the Booker Reef Divers 1. What we're going to do now, I'm going to invite one of the lovely ladies to come forward for us to do the poll for the rungs. All right, you guys have been here 4 years, so you understand how it goes. All right, representing here today the Fort King George Gunners, I'm seeing Keyshawn Dillon, Joel Kirk. It looks like Orlando James will be doing a lonesome there for Little Tobago? Yeah? Little Tobago. He's on his lonesome there. Kevin Samuel and Anson Ned for the Rainforest Rangers. And John Pollard, Dejon Charles, and Jaron Alfred for the Booker Reef Divers. Right, so I'm going to invite one person. Just before I do that, I'm seeing the Chief Secretary is about to make his way in. Always happy to have the Chief Secretary with us. And we are always thankful for his support, both financially and, of course, just being here and supporting the draft and being at the games as well. So let us all, of course, welcome the Chief Secretary, Honorable Fali Augustine, to this evening's draft. Thank you so much for being here with us. Right, so the drafts, so the picks. We're going to invite one person from the tables to come forward and pick. We're about to do the wrong. So once you pick a number, that's going to be a number throughout the draft, right? For the different wrongs. So I have a Tobago wrong, a Trinidad wrong. Right, so we're going to do the local, which is Tobago, the Tobago round first, and we're going to start off with the youth players. So I would have mentioned that already the Little Tobago Islanders, you guys aren't involved in this youth pick because you guys would have selected 2 youth players already. That's understood, right? That's understood? Fantastic. So the other teams, Booker Reef Divers, 1 youth pick, Rainforest Rangers, 1 youth pick. Fort King George Gunners, 2 youth picks. All right? So the numbers here. Who's number 1? All right, so John Pollard and the Booker Reef Divers, your first youth pick.
Brandon Melville.
Brandon Melville, selected there by the Booker Reef Divers. Number 2. What's number 2? All right. When you use the mic, Fort King George Gunners, their first pick.
Daviel Thomas.
Daviel Thomas, selected by the Fort King George Gunners. So over to the Bucko Reef, the Rainforest Rangers for your pick now.
Keel Russ.
Keel Russ. And the final pick will be, again, you guys, the Fort King George Gunners.
Nicholas Ramdas.
Nicholas
Michael
Ramdas,
Ramdas.
sometimes called Michael Ramdas. Right, so that brings us to an end in terms of the youth picks. Are we going to keep the same order for the other Tobago players? Right, we follow, right? So number one, let me know when you're ready, Tracy. Yes, so you ready? The last one was Michael Ramdas. So the teams obviously will be made up of 14 players. We do have 9 Tobago players, 4 players coming from Trinidad and 1 player from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The team's already retained 4, and you have just completed the youth pick. So those who just waiting for Tracy to update. Right, so number 1, which is the Bucko Reef Divers, your pick, local.
Paddy Thomas.
Kwani Thomas. Kwani Thomas selected there by the Divers. Number 2,
Keelan Lynch.
Keelan Lynch. Selected by the Fort King George Gunners. Keelan Lynch. You can say Keelan is an all-rounder. Both leg spin and bats left-handed. Good selection there by the Gunners, the defending champions. Number 3,
Dwayne Murray.
Dwayne Murray, selected by the Rainforest Rangers. Dwayne Murray, wicketkeeper. Played with the Bucko Reef Divers since inception. It's going to be very interesting to see him in the green color this year out of Charlottesville, Tobago, Dwayne Murray. And that's the interesting thing about franchise cricket. You can't settle. You can settle for the season, but you never know what happens in terms of trade in the coming years. Fourth pick, Orlando James for the Little Tobago Islanders.
Selwyn Duncan.
Selvin Duncan, selected by Islanders. And you can hear the laughter in the room. You think the Islanders would have pinched a player from another team. So Duncan had it in all-rounder here in Tobago. I think he had 100 already. Scored 100 this season in our domestic competition. He selected as a good pick there by the Islanders. Still in search of the first winning this Chief Secretary's, the first trophy. Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast. Are we back to number 1 again, right? Who's going to be the first pick this time? Orlando, you're first pick this time. Orlando playing the role as coach and captain today.
Ashon Pierre.
Ashon Pierre, selected by the Islanders. Player from CMB United. Hard-hitting opening batsman. very dangerous in this format. And Islanders looking to stack their team to be very competitive this season. And the guys in red and white. They're standing by for who's going to be number 2 here now? Rangers.
Kerry Cordner.
Kerry Cordner. Another CMB United player. I wanted to say something about Kerry, but I'm not going to say it. But very handy player. Very handy player in the field. And of course, with the bat as well. Happy to see Kerry in the mix. Also participated in the Dream 11 BAGO T10 Blast. The Gunners, your pick is up. And as always, they have to communicate with the owners via the internet. I'm not sure who's doing the communicating there. It looks like Cook. And they have to confirm and ensure that they are on par.
Ato James.
Ato James. So the teams are already looking to secure their keepers. Ato James. And I will leave it at that. Good keeper. And the final pick in this round, that's going to be the Divers.
Desron Jack.
Desron Jack. Fireman by trade. And this year, I saw him trying to bowl some medium pace. He said to me he's a medium pacer with some swing. I'm going to see how that unfolds this season with the Divers. Who has first pick in this round, Tracy? Rangers.
Michael James.
Michael James. This season, he would have played with the CMB United team. Left-handed batsman. Very dynamic in the field. Very strong arm. You need that kind of feeling for this format of the game. Islanders, your pick is up.
Clinton Brooks.
Clinton Brooks?
Clinton.
Quinton or Clinton? Clinton. That's the... Right. Clinton Brooks, otherwise known as Bolivar, out of Roxborough, Tobago. Hard-hitting batter, Clinton Brooks. Divers, over to you. Your pick, yes?
Kel Jofield.
Ezekiel Jofield. Ezekiel Jofield selected once again by the Divers. Selected by the Divers, I think it was the last season. Didn't play a game. Hopefully that changes this time around. Whose pick is it, Tracy? That says it's going to be the Rangers, for King George. Gunners? Do you see who has the next pick? I think they are forfeiting this wrong. We have no, we don't have whole afternoon. It's simple as that. So the Gunners would have asked for 10 minutes. Are you guys going to allow that?
Joel Boyce.
Joel Boyce making a comeback. Selected by the Gunners. Joel Boyce. Opening batsman. Handy with some off spin. Tracy. So that, yeah, two Gunners, you guys are up again. First pick this round. Right, so next pick. So who's the next pick? So Boko, so guys on the live, the Gunners would have completed their roster for the local players. We're going to complete the roster for the other 3 franchises. So we're going to go to the divers. Just asking for the other teams, at least have your players in mind so we can kind of have the draft flowing.
Quinton Brooks.
So we'd have had Clinton, now we have Quinton Brooks, left armer, finger spinner. Islanders, your pick.
Theo Bruce.
Theo Bruce selected by Islanders. We must commend Orlando for keep the flow going nicely there. And the final pick,
Ajani Allen.
Ajani Allen, selected by the Rangers. And the final pick in this round for the Tobago players, Islanders once again. Just clarifying. So Islanders just sorting out their final pick. Remember, it's 9 local players, 9 Tobago players, 4 Trinidad players, and 1 player for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I can understand why. Lane, you want 2 of you to play on the same team, right? I like that. All right, so just waiting for Islanders. You can make a phone call too if you want, or phone a friend. 50-50. So we've had just about 200 persons registering for this year's Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast. And he says that the tournament is building in stature, the excitement. Matches are going to start on the 1st of June, and we're going to end on the 8th of June. And good to see the players are moving around for the different franchises. Had a really good 2023. Already had a 2 June 11 BAGO T10 Blast. We're going to have the all Tobago edition, Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast. And we expect all of Tobago and Trinidad to come across and enjoy the excitement. I know that the Trinidad players are locked on online, hoping to be selected. You know, they love their time in Tobago, you know. They're going to always have a good time when they come to Tobago. Anytime today, Lynn?
Akwel Kwashi.
Akel Kwashi, another wicket keeper out of Bloody Bay, Tobago. Akel Kwashi, selected there by the Islanders. So we have completed the Tobago round, inclusive of the 2 youth players. Very happy to see the youngsters are getting the opportunity to rub shoulders with some of the more seasoned players. And I'm saying seasoned players, not necessarily the Trinidad players, but seasoned players here in Tobago as well. Just one choice is where they're going to start the round. So are we going to pull again, or are we going to go straight into the right? But again, right, so once again inviting a representative from a team to pull for this wrong, the Trinidad wrong. Thank you so much. This weekend, we're going to have the playoffs for the T20 tournament here in Tobago, the Tobago Cricket Association T20 tournament. It's going to happen this weekend at Shaw Park and also at Roxborough. And that's something to look forward to. I can give you the matchups this weekend as the captains or a representative come to select. So once again, it's a pull for the Trinidad picks. Remember, 4 picks of Trinidad players. We're going to have 4 rungs. Number 1, Rangers. Number 2, the Gunners. Number 3, Islanders. And, of course, 4, the Divers. So we're going to start off with the Rangers. Your first pick?
Jason Mohammed.
Jason Mohammed. Jason Mohammed, and of course, I know that the Rangers are very delighted to have the first pick to what I want to call retain Jason Mohammed. And you saw that 100 that Jason Mohammed scored. I think it was last year he scored 100, right? And he lit up that park, the Sid Gray recreation gong in Roxborough. I think he hit like about 7 consecutive sixes, 8 consecutive sixes, 100. A very good pick there by the Rangers, ensuring that they keep the unity there. Number 2.
Evan Lewis.
Evan Lewis. Yeah, we're talking about big guns, not just a national player, a West Indian player selected by the Gunners. And I must say the Gunners, they have lost one of their leading players who is sitting with the blue corner tonight. That's Jason Charles. So they have selected the hard-hitting Evan Lewis. We saw him with the June 11 BAGO T10 Blast, and he's now going to be gracing the stage. Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast. Your turn, Islanders.
Jed Gooley.
Jed Gooley, another dynamic player, left-handed. And we saw 100. I think it was last year in the June 11 BAGO T10 Blast, right here at Shaw Park. He scored that 100. He was the leading run scorer in that tournament. And of course, one of the leading national players. So the big names are coming out. Divers, over to you guys.
Terrence Hines.
Terrence Hines. All-rounders, they rule in this format, and Terrence Hines, you can't get better than that at all. A national player, a bowling all-rounder, and a leader at that as well. Back to the Rangers. Rangers, your first pick this time? Oh, yes. Divers. My apologies here.
Lendell Simmons.
Lendell Simmons. Lendell Simmons, you saw him recently with the June 11 BAGO T10 Blast, leading his team to victory. Another hard-hitting batter. Household name, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but around the world. Lendell Simmons, a World Cup winner at that as well. I know the community of Roxborough and environs, they're already looking to see where they can purchase tickets. We're going to put out that information as soon as possible. Yes, number 2. Islanders.
Michael Govaya.
Michael Govaya, like that pick. So Michael Govaya of spinner. He can bat as well. Yeah, played with Central Sports. Central Sports won, well, in fact, they did the double in Trinidad. They won the league, and then they won the 50 overs. So Michael Govaya, T20? Right, so yes, he won the T20. Michael Govaya, a very outstanding player of spinner and a batter as well. Guide me here now. Who's Rangers? Gunners? Gunners, sorry.
Dexter Sween.
Dexter Sween. Another hard-hitting batter who can bowl in the region of 80 miles per hour and hit the ball a mile. Dexter Sween selected there. Rangers.
Christopher Vincent.
Christopher Vincent. Another big name in the Trinidad circuit when it comes to T10 cricket. My left-arm spinner. And he can bat anywhere in the order. Islanders for the third round, your first pick.
MBK Joseph.
MBK Joseph. BK Joseph. I think he scored 100. I think he scored 100 in the T20 tournament. And one of the informed players on the national circuit. A left-handed batter. Former national youth player as well. There is a mixture of experience and youth in these franchises. And this is what it's all about, building the capacity of our Tobago players, rubbing shoulders with these outstanding players who would have represented West Indies and the national team. Divers? Your pick, divers?
Bhutan.
Jesse Bhutan. I was looking forward to that name, you know. I mean, he has become one of my favorite players on the domestic, regional, and I'm seeing that he's currently in India, so international stage as well. Leading run scorer in the just concluded Dream 11 BAGO T10 Blast. And I'm really happy to see that he has been drafted with one of the franchises here. I hope that we have enough balls for the players that I'm seeing drafted by these franchises. Rangers.
Cephas Cooper.
Cephas Cooper. No stranger to the circuit here in Tobago. Played with the Moncturvin Surfers in the Dream 11 BAGO T10 Blast. Top players. Divers. Alan. Gunners. Gunners. Once again, they have to consult. So just as Gunners consult with their owners for selection.
Navin Bidesi.
Navin Bidesi, once again, making his way across to Tobago. Gunners. And the teams are now looking to get their bowling in order. So the final pick in the Trinidad round, the final round, the Trinidad picks, the final round in the Trinidad picks, yes? Who's going to go first this time? Gunners, once again, you have the first pick.
Sharon Lewis.
Sharon Lewis. Fast bowler, left-handed bowler, fast bowler. And the Gunners, of course, looking to replace the dynamic Dejon Charles. I've selected Sharon Lewis, fast bowler, left-handed fast bowler. Rangers. Rangers. And down to the final three Trinidad picks, and then we're going to have the selection for the players from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the Rangers are in discussion there. So guys, so let's give the name. Okay. Okay. Can we have that discussion? I can tell you why after. I'll tell you why. So they're still waiting on the Rangers for their selection there. And while we await the Rangers, that's again the announcement of the T20 tournament, the domestic T20 tournament continuing this weekend. They're going to have a match on Saturday, CMB United versus Roxborough. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the third versus fourth at 9:30, first versus second at 2 p.m. right here at Shaw Park. And then following weekend, we're going to have a loser of third versus, or first versus second, versus the winner of third versus fourth. The final is on the 26th of June. So, Rangers, are you guys ready?
Tishon Castro.
Tishon Castro. Long deliberation there for the all-rounder Castro. Divers.
Varma Ramkisoon.
Just repeat that for me.
Varma Ramkisoon.
Mr. Ramkisoon. I think this is the first for Mr. Ramkisoon. He's going to be making his debut, not only in the Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast, but in any of our domestic competitions. The final pick in the Trinidad among the Islanders,
Samuel Rupnarine.
Samuel Rupnarine. Also a first, Samuel Rupnarine. Also a first for the competition here in Tobago. And that brings us to an end with the Trinidad picks, Tobago picks. There is to be some conversation with the St. Vincent and the Grenadines players. I think the teams would have selected that player before today. And we're going to have further communication with that. And if I can have the list there, I can announce the teams. Yeah, and that's the end of the draft. I'm hoping I can get to see the names so I can call it out again. The teams. Can I have? You can unplug and bring it here? Oh, all right. Okay, I mean, the camera is there. Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to get across. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, so, all right. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have matches at the Moriah Recreation Ground this year. We're looking to have the opening at Moriah, opening to the 3rd of June, the first 3 days at Moriah, and then we're going to go to Roxborough for the remainder of the competition. All right, so just to go through again, in case you guys, that some of you guys online are just joining us. The Rainforest Rangers, they're 13 because they are still to pick a player from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ansel Ned, Nevin Stewart, Kevin Samuel, Josh Telemark, Keel Russ, Dwayne Murray, Kerry Cordner, Michael James, Ajani Allen, Jason Mohammed, Christopher Vincent, Cephas Cooper, and Tishon Castro. The coach, Neil Skeet. For the divers, Jaron Alfred, Jaden Kent, Akko George. Akko today was worrying if he's going to be selected. Dejon Charles, Brandon Melville, Kwani Thomas, Deswan Jack, Ezekiel Jofield, Quinton Brooks, Terrence Hines, Lendell Simmons, Jesse Bhutan, and Varma Ramkisoon. What a team selected there by the divers. The Islanders, Orlando James, Leon Lizama, Joshua York, Xavier Reed, Selvin Duncan, Ashawn Pierre, Clinton Brooks, Theo Bruce, Akel Kwashi, Jed Gooley, Michael Gavaya, Mbike Joseph, and Samuel Rupnarine. And the defending champions, they are hoping to retain their title with Keyshawn Dillon, Shaquille Johnson, Shaquille Duncan, Joshua James, Davel Thomas, Michael Ramdas, Kellen Lynch, Ato James, Joel Boyce, Evan Lewis, Dexter Sween, Navin Bedesi, and Sharon Lewis. And I forgot to mention the coaches there. The coaches for you guys, Divers coach John Pollard, Islanders Gilbert Lizama, and the Gunners, none other than Joel Cook. All right? All right, so St. Vincent and the Grenadines players are going to ask teams to just name the player that they would have selected for this round, the regional round. One player from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And of course, you guys are aware of the relationship that the Tobago Cricket Association and the St. Vincent and Grenadines Cricket Association. We try our very best to facilitate the St. Vincent and the Grenadines players. And when they have their T20 tournament as well, we do normally have our players go across there and play as well. So we're going to ask the Gunners to name your St. Vincent player.
Shaman Hooper.
Shaman Hooper, no stranger to Tobago, been here for all editions. No, not all, the last edition he was here, and of course for the June 11 BAGO T10 Blast. And one of the franchises here this evening, the Islanders, they have opted not to select a player from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the organizing committee have given them the option of selecting an additional Trinidad player. Islanders, who is that player?
Liam Mamchan.
Liam Mamchan. Selected there by the Islanders. Rangers, your St. Vincent and the Grenadines pick?
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams, selected by the Rangers. A fast bowler there.
And Douglas.
Dylan Douglas. Dylan Douglas, dynamic all-rounder for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm sure that he's already packing his bag to come to Tobago. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that brings us to a close when it comes to the selection of the franchises. And we do expect a really exciting tournament over 7 days at Moriah and Roxborough. As I said, you can follow the Tobago Cricket Association Facebook page for all information pertaining to this year's tournament. And we expect that you're going to continue supporting us. At this time, I want to invite the Honorable Chief Secretary to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. It will be a few words. This year, you realize that we have expanded the venues for the game. So the objective is that over time, we will move from 1 to 2 to more than 2 venues. Over time, we will extend the duration of the competition. And over time, we also want to expand the number of teams in the competition and international players in the competition. The reason for that is we want to provide as much of an opportunity as possible for the local talent to have access to world-class playing in Tobago. We have invested in the Dream 11 tournament because of that reason, and we will continue to invest in cricket. I want to end by throwing out one challenge to the association, one challenge. I want us to develop some sort of program or initiative singular, it could be more than one or initiatives for the juniors on the island, for those that are under the age of 17. I know they have the secondary school competition, but I want us to develop some initiative or initiatives for the juniors on the island. And that's where the next crop of talent will come from. Because let's be honest, people like my partner Latta here, them already agree here, knee pain, arthritis. So we have to see how best we could target those who are in primary school and in lower school, secondary school, to see if we can bring them into mainstream cricket and to have an appreciation for cricket as a viable sport, a viable career path as well. Most cricketers on the island my age really did not get to see cricket as a career path. And eventually we learned that you could make plenty of money from cricket. But it is a viable career path, and it is one of the world's most looked at sport, most involved sport by virtue of the number of participants globally. And so I think it's an opportunity for us to really target the juniors and find a way to bring them in the mainstream as well. So I look forward to whatever you'll come up with, and I'm here to work with the Cricket Association. Thank you. I think this weekend we expect to, Saturday evening, we expect the trophy to visit our shores, and we'll go down to Boko. I don't know if there's a sign of where the results will go in this competition, but we're carrying the trophy down in Boko on Saturday evening. And so for the viewing public, it's an opportunity for you to come out and participate in the activities and appreciate the fact that the World Cup is on our shores, and you can simply take a flight or sailing to Trinidad and get to enjoy the World Cup firsthand. So we also look forward to what that will bring for the country as a whole. I thank you and good evening.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Secretary. And of course, I want to endorse the sentiments of having more youngsters participate. And of course, we are the Cricket Association. I mean, in conversation with the president, I told him that we need a youth series. And I know that is currently engaged in the Tobago Cricket Association. We just came out of a successful primary schools cricket league. And I want to shout out to Wim Anglican and, of course, eventual winners, and Signal Hill as well then. Signal Hill Government Primary School. Knockout winners, and to the league winners, WIM, they defeated Scarborough RC. We had like 19 primary schools participating in that primary schools cricket league. And it is currently being discussed that we're going to have some of the leading players go to view one of the World Cup matches in Trinidad. So we are starting that conversation. We are starting to get the young people working again in cricket in Tobago. All right, and we're very excited to have this Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 Blast, where we have two youngsters, or more than two, on some of the franchises, rubbing shoulders with the likes of Lendell Simmons, World Cup winner, West Indian, Evan Lewis, Jesse Bhutan, all those guys. They're going to bring a wealth of experience to our shores, and I'm hoping that the youngsters, they relish the opportunity and they take as much as possible from there. And also get out there, get down there to Boko on Saturday. The trophy arrives here, I think, at 4, and they're going to get across there to Boko. It's free of charge, and I'm told there will be refreshments, so you can get down there and enjoy that, take your pictures and post it. It's not often that we're going to have a World Cup close to us like this, and then an international event. Not CPL or or domestic competitions. But this is an international event. The world will be viewing and watching the Caribbean. So get down there, take a picture of the trophy. I'm going to be there. And I'm sure that the members of the Tobago Cricket Association are going to be there as well. And as our president provides to me the list of our sponsors, of course, once again, right, and of course, the Tobago House of Assembly, of course, out of the office of the Chief Secretary. We also have Jagasa, a group of companies. We have the Port Mall in the house, right? Jesus Christ Makes a Difference Supermarket, yes? And we have Cricket 360, yes? Yes. And we're going to have Digicel as well, our internet provider on board. So once again, the Office of the Chief Secretary, of course, Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine, Jagasa Group of Companies, Port Mall. Thank you so much, Port Mall, for getting involved. We also have Jesus Christ Makes a Difference Supermarket and Cricket 360, our streaming partner. Yes, so guys, thank you so much for joining us today. This brings us to an end for the live stream of the draft. And we expect in the coming weeks, the teams will be training. And we're going to be putting all the information there for you guys to really get involved. It's not going to be much to enter. Once again, what we charge, $20 and $40. I mean, normally that's a beer and a roti. A beer and a doubles. A letter. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I want to shout out the hardworking team from the Tobago Cricket Association. We do have the president here today, Mr. Cohen John. We have our secretaries, Tandika, Moses, and Tracy Caldero. We also have our newly minted officer in the TCA, Mr. Oscar Om. And, before we started, we observed a moment of silence there for our recently deceased second Vice President, Mr. Arthur. It's still hard for us to come to terms with his departure, but I know if he was here today, it would have been all smiles seeing the names selected for this Chief Secretary's BAGO T10 blast. And, of course, well-dressed in that sense. I want to thank the Cricket 360 guys for making the trucker course here to stream this production, and we look forward to an excellent tournament come June 1st to 8th. Thank you guys so much.